So you're into DIY and you're thinking you want to build yourself a house. So in today's video, we're hoping to help you decide if you're ready by sharing our experience and our story as we built our family's dream house. I'm not coming to you as an experienced builder to give you all of the inside information and tips that you could get from professionals. I'm coming to you as someone who is not a professional, who just had a dream and decided to go after it, and this is what we ended up with. This may not be a big, impressive house, but it's our dream. We wanted to build ourselves a house that we could pay for and move into debt-free, and that's what we're doing. From start to finish, the design, drawings, and the building of this house have been done by me and my son, who's 11 years old. And while we're really only about halfway there because we just finished the outside, we're getting into wintertime and it's time to start working on the inside. So I thought that I would pause for a moment and talk about my experience so far, and maybe that would help some other people decide if they're ready to tackle this job on their own as well. So building a house is no small decision, and it's something that intimidated me for a long time, and it's something I had to build up to. So I thought it might be nice if I shared what experience I have, and maybe other people could kind of compare their experience level and decide for themselves whether they're ready to tackle this kind of a job. Without telling my whole life story, I grew up in rural Indiana with a dad who was a plumber and a farmer. We didn't have a whole lot of money, so we had to do just about everything for ourselves, maintenance-wise and upkeep on our own homes. And Dad was always picking up side jobs to make a little bit of extra money for the family. And so being a plumber, that brought little side jobs that would include a little bit of framing and a little bit of drywall work and just bits and pieces of what it takes to build a house. And so as a kid, I was always his gopher. And if you follow our channel, you know that's what Caden is to me. He's my gopher. But along the way, Dad would take the time to explain the things that he was doing. And I picked up a lot of things by just working alongside my dad as I was growing up. When it comes to actual building experience for myself, before tackling building a house, I had actually built several buildings. And I started out by doing remodeling projects on the houses that me and my wife have lived in over the years. And we might add on a little room or build a bathroom or remodel different things. And so I picked up certain skills just by starting with small jobs. And about 7 years ago, we moved to a place that didn't have a garage, and so I decided to build a pole barn. I had built a couple of pole barns with my dad when I was a young kid, and so I knew the process basics, but I had never built a whole structure by myself. So that was the very first building that I built, and it went pretty well, and I learned a lot of things from doing that. And then about 4 years ago, we bought this 38 acres that we live on here in Eastern Kentucky, and I needed a garage here. So me and my 18-year-old son, Cameron, built us a garage, and the same pole barn style, but a little bit bigger building with taller ceilings. And I had to learn a few more tricks along the way to do that. Now the build process of that garage is on our YouTube channel, and that was kind of the beginning of our YouTube adventure and sharing all of our projects, was building that garage. And since then, you know, we have not only built that garage, but Caden and I built a small cabin by the pond. We built a sawmill shed. We built an equipment shed. And so I was kind of learning and gaining experiences that would help me have the tools to be able to build this home for ourselves. I learned how to put up trusses and cut rafters and all of the things that it takes to put a roof system together. And that gave me the confidence that I would be able to fill in the gaps and the things that I didn't yet know in order to be able to completely build our home and do almost all of the work ourselves. Now, some of the things that I had never tackled before are, well, one, drawing plans for a house. I wanted to plan out our house, and I'd never done anything like that before. So I tackled that first and came up with a good plan. I had never dug a footer or poured the concrete for a footer or laid blocks. That being the most crucial part of the build process, I decided to go ahead and get a little bit of help with that, get some guidance. I was going to have to bring in an excavator to do the land clearing anyway, so I decided to go ahead and hire them to dig out the footer, and they had some connections to bring in some help, and we poured the footer, and then I hired a gentleman who does a little bit of block laying on the side to come and lay my block for me. And I tried to get, involved in the process enough to watch him and learn a little bit. but I was very glad that I didn't try to lay block for the first time on the foundation of my house, because having a good square foundation to start on has made all the difference in the building process. It made me a better builder because I was starting with a good square foundation. Now, I had ran water lines, but I had never installed a septic system. And that was another thing that I felt like, because it was going to involve the health department and inspections and permits, I wasn't really comfortable doing that on my own. And I think in some places you're not even allowed to unless you take a course. So I hired out the septic installation as well. Now that kind of brings me to one of the sticky subjects when it comes to building your own home, and that is permits and inspections and regulations and all of those things, because those are going to be different for just about anywhere that you lived. It depends on whether you live in the city limits or in a rural area, how much acreage you have, what the county, state ordinances are, whether there are any restrictions on your property. There's so many things that have to do with that I'm not really going to get into that too much, except to say, do your research and talk to friends and neighbors who are in the construction business and deal with those sorts of things, and find out so that you don't have any surprises along the way as you get into this process. Now, I can tell you for my area, kind of the main part of the process was, in order to get electricity on the property, which we don't have yet, you have to have water and septic service. And to get septic service, you have to get a site inspection, a septic permit, and a plumbing permit. Now, there were exceptions to that. Because I own over 20 acres, I am allowed to get an exemption for the plumbing and do all of that work myself. I don't know about the septic because I just decided to hire that out anyway. Once all of that was completed, I got a little permit card that allows me, that allows the electric company to come in and set me a pole, and then I'll have electricity on the property as well. So that's one of the next steps that I'm about to take, is contact the electric company, get that pole set, and then I'm going to have to reach out to the electrical inspector, because I don't know the process for when he needs to come in and see certain parts of the installation of the wiring. So before I get to that, I've got to do that research. So I'm just going to say, when it comes to all of those things, do your research before you ever start, because there are certain things that you might not even be allowed to do for yourself. Now, the next subject I want to get into, and it's one of my favorite, is tools. Now, if you do DIY, you probably have the basic tools that you're going to need to do the job anyway. And I won't even begin to list what all of those tools are. But what I will say is, I love tools. And part of the reason I love doing DIY projects is because it gives me excuses to buy more tools so that I can add to my collection and have the tools that I need to do a job. And while you can get by with the basic hand tools, in fact, you know, there are men that are far more man than I am that can build with just, you know, hammer and nails and hand saws, but that's not me. The more tools, the better quality tools, and the more custom tools that you can own, the faster, easier, and safer the process will be for you. For instance, I've done a lot of building, never owning any scaffolding. And I do a lot of climbing on the walls and hanging over the edges of things to try to reach and get done what I needed to get done. But to build my house, I went to Harbor Freight and I bought 3 sets of that Baker scaffolding. And it has been a lifesaver to reach and do the things that I need to do. I'm a little bit afraid of heights anyway, so having the right tools will make that job a lot easier. And that actually reminds me of my next point, because I have certain limitations in what I'm capable of doing. 1, in my knowledge and experience of building, but 2, just in the tools and equipment that I own to get the job done. And that's part of why I wanted to draw my own plans and designs, because I wanted to cater to my abilities and my access to tools and equipment. I didn't want to have to rent a crane to set trusses. I didn't want to have to work on top of a 2-story home. I didn't want a 12-12 pitch roof because I'm afraid of heights and I don't have the safety harnesses and everything I would need to accomplish that. So you want to take into account what you're capable of doing and your building skills. You know, I have watched framers, very talented framers and builders, put together houses with these complex roof designs that have all these different pitches coming together at different places and dormers and all this really detailed stuff that I knew I was not capable of. So I came up with a very simple design with straight lines that made it all something that I could handle. And that would be my biggest piece of advice for you. If you want to build your own house, understand your own abilities and don't be afraid to simplify it. You know, I'm not trying to impress anybody with the complexity of my home. I'm trying to fulfill a lifelong dream of building my own house and having a comfortable, debt-free place for my family to live. So for me, it's worth it to make some compromises in maybe the complexity of the design of the home, but also in the overall quality of the finished product. And I say that because you need to set your expectations based on your abilities. I am not capable of doing perfect work. For instance, we poured our own concrete patio on the front porch here, and we put a brushed finish on it. And me and my sons poured the concrete and we finished it. And you can tell. It works and it's smooth enough and it's pitched the right way to where the water runs off, and so it's going to be just fine for me. But especially, you know, if there's a spouse involved and they're picky about certain things, you need to have conversation about how much you're willing to spend to meet that level of perfection that maybe one of you expects. Because I'm not a perfectionist, I want it right. And so I took pains to make everything square and plumb and level. But the things that I'm not so great at are the really fine details. And so I've actually considered, when I get finished with the inside, maybe hiring someone who does trim work to come in and button up the fine details that I know I won't be good at. So that's another point to keep in mind, is your own abilities and what the end product's going to look like when you get done. Now, one major resource besides the money and the tools and all of the supplies that you're going to need to build a house, that if you're undertaking the project of building your own house, you need to take into account how much time you have. Because right now, my son Caden and I have invested 7 months of our life into building this house. And you might be thinking, well, that's ridiculous. You guys are slow. But I have a career. And I also make YouTube videos that I have to edit. So I might only get to work 2 hours in the evening and 6 or 8 hours on Saturday. So with that being said, I'm getting in 20 or less hours a week on this house, which means it's going to take a solid year for us to finish this house completely. So how much time do you have to get the house done? How much time and freedom do you have from your job to devote to building the house? Those are really large considerations for you to take into account before you tackle building your own house. But finally, guys, I want to talk about why it's worth it. Because I've had this dream of building my own house for a long time. My dad built the house that I grew up in. It was a log house. He was very proud of it, and I was proud to live in it because it was a really nice house, and I was proud that my dad built our house. I have friends who have built their own houses and relatives that have built their own houses, and so I just felt like I was almost missing out on something in life because I like doing DIY projects and I like doing things for myself. And so I felt like I needed to do this before my life was over. But there's something else, because as I was growing up, my dad took the time to include me in projects and explain to me what he was doing and teach me some of the procedures to accomplish those things. And it has served me so well in life. It's given my family a better quality of life because we can have things, because I don't have to spend all of my money on repairmen and that sort of thing. So as I've been raising my sons, I wanted to give them those same tools to succeed. And so you guys have seen a lot of that with Caden, because we've built that cabin together and then we're building this house together. And I can tell you, at this point in the game, there is not another full-grown man that I would bring onto the job site before I would bring Caden. Because Caden knows what I expect, he knows what I'm looking for, and he cares about what we're doing. I've seen him as an 11-year-old boy step back and take a look at the house and say, man, Dad, this looks really good. And that's priceless, absolutely priceless. The opportunity to be able to put hands-on experience in the lives of your children makes it worth it. That's the biggest thing that I've gotten out of this. It's not the house, but it's the time that I've gotten to spend with him. And I know that he's learning things he's going to need in his life. So if you decide to build your own house, it's going to bring you a lot of pride. And it's going to save you a lot of money. But it's also going to give you priceless experiences. And I would recommend sharing those with somebody in your life. If you don't have children, you know, build alongside your spouse or your best friend. Get somebody involved that you can experience it with, because it's rewarding. It's a great feeling. So friends, I'm not coming to you as an experienced builder to give you all of the inside information and tips that you could get from professionals. I'm coming to you as someone who is not a professional, who just had a dream and decided to go after it, and this is what we ended up with. And hopefully that helps you decide whether this is something that you want to tackle or not. I hope you find this beneficial, and I hope you enjoyed our little conversation. Guys, until next time, get outside and enjoy God's creation, because it's beautiful out here. And you all have a good day.